OpenAI has just released a new ChatGPT app for the Apple Vision Pro, which is, of course, the augmented reality headset that Apple has just released that everyone is currently talking about. And I guess one of the big questions here is this really going to be a new device like your phone in spatial computing, as they say, or is this going to be perhaps something that is super expensive and kind of burns out? So that's, the question a lot of people are asking. But in the meantime, people are building tools for these, and we're starting to see AI integrated into the Apple Vision Pro. And one of these big things, of course, is ChatGPT being integrated into it. So today on the podcast, I'm going to be talking about what OpenAI did, how they made this announcement, what ChatGPT actually does on the Apple Vision Pro, what the pros and cons or differences are between that and just anything else. And we're going to break down all of that. Before we do that, I wanted to say that today's episode is sponsored by AI Box, my very own AI app builder and marketplace. And we're currently raising a crowdfunding round for it with 20 days left to go. If you're interested in investing in this project before the campaign is closed and we do not take any more investments, go to republic.com/AI-box. I'll leave a link in the show notes if you're interested. Let's get into the episode.
We gon' bring it to you just like that. Welcome everyone to the future. It's AI Chat, bringing you the interviews and giving you info to be in the know from tech company CEOs of. Rock with us, bet you gon' come back. I'm just saying the facts. This is AI Chat. Let's go.
So the big news here, of course, is that OpenAI has released their new ChatGPT app for the Apple Vision Pro. And essentially what the app allows you to do, I was looking at some demos and some interesting things. I think they essentially gave a tweet which they said, chat has now entered the 3D world. You can find it in the Vision OS App Store. That was kind of their announcement on Twitter. And they had a video essentially of someone looking at their living room, and all of a sudden there's this big screen or this big thing that pops up, and you're seeing essentially what looks like a ChatGPT browser, which is just superimposed and is shown in front of you. So ChatGPT right now in this new app that they've added to the Vision Pro allows you to interact with GPT-4 Turbo. So you can use it for asking questions, getting answers, advice, learning, generating images and text, everything that you'd be able to use and get it to do on desktop. Now it's able to do that as well in the Apple Vision Pro. So I think a lot of people are calling this a big milestone, just ChatGPT getting added to the Vision Pro, because there's a lot of big companies that are actually holding out right now and not developing for the Apple Vision Pro. Spotify said that they're not going to. Fortnite said that they're not going to develop. And I think a lot of this stems from just the feud that Apple has had, where right now they're taking 30% commission off of all the sales made of any subscription revenue on their app store. And so they've, obviously rubbed a bunch of people the wrong way with that. Specifically, Fortnite has sued them. I believe Spotify has gotten into that big lawsuit with them as well. And so because of that, some of these big companies are not. So I think it's interesting that we see here ChatGPT getting on to this new platform. ChatGPT was on the App Store as well. And so they're going to have to be paying that when you get this, if you get your subscription set up on the Vision Pro, you're going to be paying, kind of the Apple tax, as it were. But I think some people think that this is really exciting because it's also a milestone in human AI interaction, which to me, it just seems kind of like it's like a new way to use your computer or your phone, and now it's just in front of you on your headset. But some people are saying this is a more natural, intuitive, and immersive experience, which, I get. But I think a lot of, the success of this app just rides on the success of the headset. I think that's really what it's all about. I think what's cool here, though, is if you start thinking about what the future of interactions with these AI assistants are going to look like, I think they're going to involve a lot more speaking and image feeding from the real world. So this is where I actually think that there is a lot of innovation in the Vision Pro, is that right now, of course, when you're using this on your computer, you can take a screenshot of something, you can upload it, but having an actual headset on that has cameras on means that you can be looking at something, screenshot what you're looking at, and have that immediately uploaded to ChatGPT. And of course, with what ChatGPT is doing with Vision, eventually, you'll just be able to be looking at something and ask it questions about what you're currently looking at. I think that's really exciting and very interesting, because I really do think that that's actually going to be a big shift in the functionality of ChatGPT, moving from look what I see on my screen to look what I see in the real world. Now, you can sort of do that with your phone, right? If you're walking around, you see something, you take a picture and upload it to the app. So I do get that. But I think, if you were wearing a Vision Pro and it's literally seeing what you're seeing right in front of you, I think that you're going to have a more immediate, constant ability to upload that into ChatGPT and get answers to and get feedback about what you're seeing in the real world. So I think that is interesting. So of course that's the visual aspect of it. And then I think the other thing that the ChatGPT on the Vision Pro is going to be great for is speaking. Now, again, this is something less on the computer, but more on with the app where you can talk to your phone, kind of like using Siri, right? Like you can voice assistant, you can talk with this thing and it can give you responses, but still it's a bit of a clunky experience where you pull your phone out of your pocket, you hit the talk button, you're talking with it. If you were wearing a Vision Pro and it's on your head, and you make some sort of gesture with your hand, or you tap a button with your finger in the air, and all of a sudden you can just have a conversation and be talking. I think it's like one less step removed. So there's going to be some interesting use cases that people come up with to make this really, really powerful and useful. So the ChatGPT app is actually one of the first apps on the Vision OS, on their new Vision OS. It's a brand new operating system. It has around 600 new apps. This was one of the first ones. But the new Vision OS apps can use Vision Pro features like Optic ID for biometric authentication, spatial audio for realistic sound, and also Vision Kit for app development. I think it's kind of unclear right now if the ChatGPT app is going to use any of the advanced Vision Pro features that are currently available beyond just kind of what you'd expect on a web browser or on the iOS or Android apps. But I will say that the ChatGPT app right now, I think it's kind of like bringing this onto Vision OS specifically, but even just what it's currently doing, it does represent a big move towards kind of this multimodal AI, and with the capability of processing a lot of different things like text, speech, images, and video. And I think the reason why this is so interesting to me is because I really do believe that this year is going to be the year of AI in video. We're going to see a lot of incredible advancements in this realm, and having something like goggles on that have cameras where you literally can tap a button and be recording is going to have live feed video being able to be fed into ChatGPT and get all sorts of really, really interesting analytics, information, analysis of what you're seeing in real time. Beyond just uploading an image, you're going to actually have, this camera mounted to your head essentially, that you can start interacting and using to feed stuff into ChatGPT. So I think they might actually get some, very interesting features there. The app right now allows you to interact with AI using text, images, and voice. I think it's a little bit more intuitive, to be honest. It could help you with like troubleshooting or content creation or a bunch of different things, right? Like if you're fixing your car and you were wearing them, although to be 100% honest, I feel like if you're wearing your Vision Pros while fixing your car, it kind of sounds funny, unless of course there's some interesting car fixing apps on that where it's like, actually, okay, I take it all back. That could be really cool if you're wearing your Vision Pro fixing your car engine. You like look at the engine and you're like, this thing's leaking. What is this? And it like identifies the piece and it's like, okay, I need to buy a new part, like hook up to my Amazon and like buy that. And it, finds it, it takes a picture, finds it on Amazon. You can buy it. I think you could do some really cool things with the Vision Pro. And I think, you kind of feed that into ChatGPT, right? It's like, you're like, okay, my alternator has an issue. What are the most common, causes of this, and use ChatGPT kind of as the response to give you information in the same way that I use it on my phone or on my desktop for similar kind of questions. But if it's mounted to your head where you have like live video and image input, and then you can ask it questions about it, it seems like even more intuitive than a phone, in my opinion. But, I'm sure, a lot of people will debate that. In any case, right now, ChatGPT is free on Vision OS. So of course you have the option to subscribe to ChatGPT Plus, GPT-4, right? It's going to give you the most advanced features, DALL-E 3 and all that kind of stuff, faster response times. But there is still the free version, which I think is great for a lot of people. You get GPT 3.5 for free. The app is downloadable from the Vision OS App Store, which has a bunch of different apps for a bunch of different purposes, but I think this is definitely one that is very interesting, and it's going to be exciting to see what innovation potentially gets baked into this that is like only for these Vision OS or maybe the Oculus or kind of these like AR, VR headset experiences. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, and I'll definitely keep you updated on all of it.
Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.